It is my privilege to be your host today. It's really a pleasure to have all you here in Guadalajara, in the state of Jalisco and Mexico. For COINCyDES, this is a very important opportunity to share with you how we are thinking about the future and how we are really acting in the present to make it happen. I'm really proud to announce you that we have a small group from Jalisco, but a very important one. And I will introduce you to the big shots. Sorry for the way to name them, but most of them or all of them are really big shots, and all the group that are coming from the United States. Thank you, big shots, for coming to Mexico. We have here Paola Lazo. She is a member of the cabinet of the governor of Jalisco. She is the Minister of Equality. The name of the ministry is very, very long, as the way that COINCyDES is. But well, she is a friend of us, and she is really, really a very talented lady. Is a doctor and is PhD in many fields. And well, we are very proud to have this kind of talent in the cabinet of the state of Jalisco. I want to mention that COINCyDES is not a government agency, it's a private sector movement. It's not even a business chamber or any kind of similar entity. Is a movement of Mexican people that are willing to help and willing to work for the state of Jalisco and for Mexico in order to create a new economical growth, but very important, more equality, a more even development, a better social development in the state of Jalisco and Mexico. That's why we are here, and that's why a lot of people are working every day in that target. We also have the Secretary of Education, Juan Carlos Flores. Thank you, Juan Carlos, for being with us. He's also one of our champions, and you will hear Juan Carlos a little bit later. And also we have Alfonso Pompa, the Secretary Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology. Alfonso Pompa is also coming from the private sector, but doing a great, great job in the cabinet of the Gobernador Alfaro, as well as Juan Carlos Flores. We also have members of the community. We are so proud to have the Dean of Universidad Panamericana, Antonio Esquivias, that it's a very recognized, a very well-known private university in Mexico, and Antonio Esquivias is the Dean of Guadalajara's campus. We also have Gustavo Padilla. Gustavo Padilla is the Dean of CUSEA, that is one of the schools of Universidad de Guadalajara. As you know, Universidad de Guadalajara is the second largest public university in Mexico, just a little bit behind UNAM, la Universidad Nacional de México, but almost with the same numbers of students. Universidad de Guadalajara is one of the best universities, public universities in Mexico, and we are very proud of it. We also have Sergio Graf. Sergio Graf is a former minister of ecology. Well, you have also a long name in your ministry, but he is a very well recognized specialist in this kind of all these kind of environment and environmental issues in not only in the state of Jalisco, but you are a very important expert nationwide in these fields. Thank you for coming. We also have Raúl Flores. Raúl Flores, he is the president of Coparmex. Coparmex is a very important syndicate of entrepreneurs and business men and business women that are in charge of public policies, many other things related with the private sector. He is in charge of the Coparmex Jalisco. Thank you for coming, Raúl. And we have Fernando García de Llano. He is the president of the American Chamber here in Guadalajara. And well, as you know very well, American Chamber is one of our most important business council that are trying to link a better relationship between United States and Mexico. Thank you for coming, Fernando. And we also have a lot of people from COINCyDES. I do not want to take so much time introducing all the names to you. I prefer to give the floor to my friend Liliana Ferrer in order to know who is in our tables, because we are really, really proud to have all you here today. I also want to thank you, Liliana. This meeting was not possible without your help. With your help, we really make a lot of things, and we hope tomorrow as well. Liliana is really, really a champion in this in Mexico. I want to share with you that COINCyDES has been working with the consulate of Salt Lake City, for instance, in Idaho. Been working as well with San Diego Mexican consulate. We have very, very good experiences working with Secretaría de Relaciones Exteriores, the minister that is in charge of foreign affairs in Mexico, and we are really, really proud to have you here, Liliana. Thank you very much. And obviously, Liliana will introduce all the big shots coming from the States. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I need to start by really thanking the number one big shot at Jalisco here, Cesar Leanda. Big round of applause. Thank you, Cesar, for hosting us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hosting us. And thank you all for coming on a Saturday morning or afternoon. For Mexicans, this is very early. This is almost like breakfast, right? So thank you for taking the time. But like I said a little while ago, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for Mexico. And I will stand over there so that neither the Chancellor nor Cesar Leanda have to get a sore neck. I'm Liliana Ferrer. I'm the Consul General of Mexico in Sacramento, and it truly is my biggest honor and privilege to be helping Global Affairs, Joanna Regulska, and her wonderful team, Michael Lazara and Esther, in putting this together for UC Davis. As we all know, California is the fourth largest economy in the world. It's a powerhouse of many things, starting with agriculture, which obviously the University of California, Davis, champions in science, but it's a champion of many things and a powerhouse of many things. And today we have a wonderful delegation that we brought together for you that has representatives and experts, not only of the agricultural sector, of the transportation sector, experts in electromobility, of the health sector. And let me very quickly just give you an idea of the people that are here. But before I do that, also very quickly let you know that this delegation has been very busy for the last couple of days. We hosted together with the University of California system a 2-day conference on challenges and opportunities, the Mexico-California Agenda 2030, where over 150 experts on the Mexico-California relationship and the most strategic sectors came together, including Professor Giltal that spoke about electromobility, and he's one of the first rock stars that I'm going to introduce to you. UC Davis has probably the most important transportation and electromobility experts in the nation, and he contributed in a very important way. He was also a member of the Mexican delegation to the COP, the last COP meeting in Egypt, and has some very valuable contributions to what Mexico will be looking towards in electromobility, as we were speaking to you a little while ago. We also have at this table Jonah Masset, probably the most renowned epidemiologist in the United States. Well, maybe Dr. Fauci also. We'll let him come into the group. Maybe Dr. Fauci. But really, we are very honored and privileged that Jonah Masset is joining us, and we are so lucky that she is currently at the University of California, Davis as well. We have at that table over there 2 experts that are in charge of crucial issues. Number 1, Dr. Hermias, who represents the International Affairs programs of the School of Agriculture. And he will be speaking to you today. But we have a water expert, Sam Sandoval, that also happens to be Mexican. And water, such an incredibly strategic subject in the bilateral relationship, that we are very lucky to have him as well, and such an incredibly important subject in agriculture as well. At this table we have Sergio Aguilar Gagiola. He's a medical expert for vulnerable communities, particularly working very closely with all consulates, but working directly with the Mexican co-nationals in agricultural camps and fields, and an expert in mental health particularly. We are very lucky to have him because he's also the director of the Center for Reducing Health Disparities, and a great ally of Mexico and of the consulate from Sinaloa. Himself and a professor at the University of California, Davis. And over here we also have Professor Fowler. He's an engineer and also an expert in many fields regarding chemical engineering. So thank you so much for joining us as well, Dr. Fowler. Finally, we have Dr. Manuel Calderón de la Barca, physicist. And he is one of the top experts, if not the expert, in the smallest, you will be able to explain it better than I, quarks, right? And also very famous because of a wonderful movie that he put together, works with European experts as well, and we're so privileged to have Manuel Calderón de la Barca. But I do want to highlight, and also I want to cut it short because we're here to listen to you, and not to Cesar or to me. But the agenda that we've put together for Dr. May, who's leading this wonderful delegation, is a very strategic agenda that intends to help in finding solutions, right, to the problems of the future. And we think that those solutions can be best found if we create a holistic and an integral agenda, bringing together not only academics and the private sector, which we believe, policymakers, that is the best formula to bring about long-term solutions and institutionalized solutions, right? But make sure that we have you at the table and that we also have a seat at the table, government. Bringing those three, I think, government, private sector, and academia is just a wonderful way of starting conversations and planting the seeds in here one. But I cannot leave out two very, very important representatives of the business sector. Dennis Donahue from Western Growers Association. Thank you so much for joining this delegation. He's an expert in ag tech and very closely works with the California Secretary of Agriculture in advising. And also Courtney Catalano, who represents only the largest berry producer in the world, and that has some very important production facilities here in Mexico, as close as Ajijic and in Jalisco especially. So thank you so much, Courtney, for joining us. And last but not least, the empowerment, right? The empowerment we had up until yesterday because of medical and family emergencies. They were not able to join us in Guadalajara, but we had up until yesterday as part of this delegation, I have to recognize a very important representation of the cabinet of Governor Gavin Newsom of California. We had Yana Garcia, Cali PA Secretary, Andrew McAllister, Energy Commissioner, Deanne Randolph, Chair of CARB, and Lourdes Castro, the Secretary of Housing, Business, and Consumer Services. And Erika, we have her representative. So thank you, Erika, for representing the California government. We have also Mayra, who's a councilwoman from Woodland, and we also have representatives from the State Senate of California. So thank you for joining us. Finally, last but not least, who makes things happen? Those that are the activists, right? And Pablo Reguerin, who did not join Guadalajara because he had business commitments, but Caroline Cabillas is a true champion in getting things going when it comes to bringing us all together. So thank you very much for welcoming us on a Saturday. Thank you, Cesar, for allowing us to have lunch with this very important group of Jalisco government, academic, and business representatives, and it is truly an honor and a privilege to be with you here today. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, Liliana. Thank you very much for all your support. Well, the idea is to hear our speakers today. I think all of them have very interesting things to share with you. I also want to remark, when we made the kickoff of COINCyDES a little bit more than 4 years, one of the important initiatives that we put on the table was JACA agreement, is Jalisco, California. JACA, Jalisco, California. Guadalajara is very well connected with Southern California. The Tijuana airport, that it's a binational airport, that it's growing and growing in passengers every year. Now with the CBX, with the cross-border express, that it's an excellent idea that was dreamed 20 years ago, and now it's a reality, and it's moving a lot of passengers from Mexico, from many cities all over Mexico, through Tijuana to the south of San Diego. Then, because of that, how many flights do you think that we have every day in an average from Tijuana Airport to Guadalajara? Who guesses first? 4? Who is betting more? 10. Who is betting more? More? Almost 20. Almost 20 every day. Almost 20 every day. And in high season, I think 23 was the highest number of flights every day back and forth, Tijuana, Guadalajara. Just put 20 something flights times 150 passengers. That's the mobility that we have with California, because it's not Tijuana, it's California. It's Southern California. If you visit CBX, you will see the size of the parking lot of CBX, and it's as other airport in the United States. Then we are very proud of it because Guadalajara is very close to California, and we have to link our states socially in the sides of education, economical affairs, and many other things. We work together. Jalisco and California are very close. We have a lot of people originally from Jalisco that living in California, working in California, and sending a lot of money to Mexico. Thanks God. Well, now it's time for Juan Carlos Flores. Please, Alfonso, come on, please. Juan Carlos Flores, in the name of the three ministers that are representing the cabinet of Governor Alfaro, will make very important remarks about education. Juan Carlos.
Well, good evening to everyone. I'm very glad to be here. Well, I just want to speak a little bit about our school system, of our educational system. We have a very big system because we have almost 2.2 million students. 1.6 million are studying basic education from K to 12. And no, almost 1.8 from K to 12. And well, we just 4 years ago, the governor of Jalisco, Enrique Alfaro, asked us to have a project, a long-term project. So we imagine, you were talking about the future, so we love this meeting because of that. So we were thinking to the 2040. It seems very far. We are 4 years closer. And because we have a project, the name of the project is Recrea. Actually, what we are looking is only three things. Doing better in our system, in our academic system. Also working with every student. We are very interested to have a very quality citizen, allow me to say it that way. Working in also of the interesting of the person. I mean, not only academics, also the health, thinking about their entire lives, what matters for every person. And also, we're very interested in having our students in the future having international experience, obviously. And well, the thing is that we start with this plan, only working with 7 points. In these points, one of them for us is very important, is working with families. They are the main educators, not are the schools, there are the families. So we have 1.2 families. For us, it's very important. We have 52 workshops for them. They are online. We work it in the schools, in the churches, in the every one of the. I know that's a surprise that Cesar has for all of us. Let me make the remarks. Yeah, well, like I was saying, family for us is very important. We work very hard with them. And well, we have another 6 strategies that I'm not going to talk about everyone. I'm just going to talk about one. It's the important for us to have a very strong STEM system. We know that we need more engineers, that we need more technical people, and we are working on that since kindergarten. And it's seeing this universities, this very big university, I think it's a big opportunity, and I'm sure Alfonso is going to talk more about higher education, because in Jalisco, the higher education system is in another secretary, in another minister. But high school is where we are working from K, like I said, to high school. And in high school, we have a challenge for all the high school students in Jalisco. We call it the Recrea STEM Challenge. And for us, it's very important to have very qualified partners. We are convinced that if we hear, you were talking about nuclear physics. So it's very important to learn about our teacher, our high school teacher, but it's very important if a high school student learns from the specialists. It's something great for us. And we start to working in this project, and we have almost 100 specialists, not only from universities, also for the private sector. And they share with us 1 hour of that specialist to make like a master class for our high school students. We have 360,000 students in high school. And the challenge, the first year, almost 6,000 students say yes to this challenge. It's very, very easy. The challenge, just see in your community a problem and then propose a solution. As simple as that. You can use math, you can use engineering, you can use whatever you want. And then we get together with all these kids. The first year we did it in Puerto Vallarta, so they were very excited about that. And then the 20 best projects, we take them to, last year we went to San Jose, California. We went to Silicon Valley. It was a very great experience for our students. This year we're planning to go to Boston, to Harvard and MIT. We promised the next year we're going to go back to California now. Well, we're just trying to give them a very nice experience, so promote science and technology in this way. Very simple way, just a challenge. We would love if they can hear about the experience that you want to share with them in just 1 hour. One of those experiences, some specialists in communication, for example, show them how to make an elevator pitch. And now in Jalisco, you see very interesting results, because when you start to go to talk with deans in the universities, they start to notice this. What we do in high school, in a year and a couple of years, makes sense in the universities. It's very logical. So I would love to send you more information about this project and the other 6 projects. Well, I already said about the families, the important for us to work with families. A couple of times, last year we went 2 times to California. And we talked to our migrants that are over there. And we shared this project, Recrea Familia, no? the formation of families. They loved it. And they loved it because it's in Spanish. No? And they suffer when they see their kids, Mexican kids. They feel they are Mexican. They don't even speak Spanish, and they don't know about their culture. And I think it's a very big opportunity. And for us, I was listening to Cesar and thinking about all those thousands and thousands of young people from Mexico in the USA. And when I see the work they are doing, it's very valuable. I used to do when I was 16 years old. I was in California working for 5 years, and only working. I was even in high school. I did my high school when I came back when I was 20 years old. And I know that feeling that you work very hard, but if you don't have education, I was earning about $5 an hour, and you do the same effort, and you maybe can do not only much more money, also do a lot of things good for your community. And also having our high school students going over there. I know we have a very good higher education system, but I think we can do also that. Well, I can, like you imagine, I'm from education, I can speak the entire hour, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying I will be able, but not. So, thank you for being here, and I am sure my colleagues are going to be more specific about the things that might be interesting to you in terms of investigation. But I want to share this with you, hoping that you get interested and maybe we can work more about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos Flores has a very, very nice and interesting story. I think it will be good for Netflix. Maybe in the future, Juan Carlos will sign a contract with Netflix, because he really has a very personal history. and maybe sometimes he will share a little bit about that. Well, we will hear within the next hour and a half or something like that, Paola Lasso and Alfonso about their thoughts, especially linked to the relationship between Mexico and the United States, but especially Jalisco and the state of California, the fourth largest economy, as Liliana remembered to us. Well, I would like now to introduce, as my privilege, to Mr. Gary May, that is the Chancellor of UC Davis. We are recording this presentation, and I want to ask you your permission to later on to make some shorts of your remarks and your lectures and speeches that we will be hearing here in order to share it with the rest of the group. We have our platform, our social media platform, and we want to share with the rest of the group what you are talking to us today, and especially what is the future, the near future, the near shoring that you are seeing. Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Gay.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you. If you don't mind, I will follow Liliana's lead and speak from this part of the room. That way I can rest my prepared remarks on this makeshift podium. Thank you. I'm very creative here. You prefer me to be in the front?
The light is better.
All right, I look better up here, I'm told. All right, I'll just hold it then. Thank you, my friend Mr. Deanda, for this wonderful event, for hosting us here in Guadalajara. It's my first visit to Guadalajara, so I'm very excited to be here with you all this afternoon and to share some exciting things that are happening at our university, UC Davis, and to celebrate our close friendship with Mexico. Thank you so much. Later this afternoon, we'll be thrilled to be entering an agreement with the Autonomous University of Guadalajara to create an Agave Innovation Center, which we are very excited about. This will build on our previous collaboration with UAG to create a center for sustainable lighting technology. It's modeled after a successful center at UC Davis, and these are just examples of the commitment we have to sustainability and to our partnerships here in Jalisco. I want to thank all of our friends and colleagues here in Mexico. This visit has truly strengthened our connections between UC Davis and Mexico, which date back many decades long before I was a part of the university and have only been strengthened over the years since then. California and Mexico are more than just neighbors, as you know. Many of our state's residents are from Mexico or have connections to Mexico. The same is true of our UC Davis community. About 25% of our UC Davis undergraduate students are Latinx in origin. At that 25% point, we become what is called a Hispanic serving institution in the United States, which is a major milestone that we are looking forward to. Even though we are not quite there at 25%, I have to share that we have over 8,000 Latinx students at UC Davis, which is the second in the UC system, second only to UC Riverside. So we have a large community of students from this community with this background at our university. In terms of study abroad, in fact, last year we welcomed 55 students from Mexico and 25 visiting scholars from Mexico. More than 100 of our UC Davis faculty have ongoing linkages with Mexican institutions and scholars in those institutions in areas ranging from health to law to humanities to engineering. This diversity reflects the deep historic ties that we have as well as the commitment we have with our Mexican partners. For the past 6 years, we have been very intentionally focused on our outreach to Mexico and strengthening those ties. In 2017, our Global Center's Faculty Advisory Committee for Latin America and the Caribbean proposed that UC Davis strengthen those connections and collaborations with Mexico. And over the past 2 years, our campus has spotlighted Mexico as a key contributor to the partnership and building collaboration, and this has generated very many important new initiatives and frequent travel in both directions, more than 20 flights, I think, a day. So we are very grateful to Consul General Liliana Ferrer, the Consulate General for Mexico in Sacramento, for I think 2 more months. And she's also a UC Davis alumna, proud UC Davis alumna, and honored UC Davis alumna, for always supporting these objectives and for especially helping to organize this event in our entire visit to Mexico. We are equally grateful to all our higher education partners for their constant support, especially UAG here in Jalisco, and we look forward to continuing expanding our work together toward new discoveries and training in agricultural technologies, water resource security, health, sustainability, and many other critical areas. UC Davis is really on a mission to address the world's greatest challenges, and you'll hear from my colleague, Dr. John Mazet, on that topic shortly. And we firmly believe we cannot do that alone. We need partnerships, especially with many different stakeholders where we share common challenges and common goals, as we do with our colleagues here in Mexico. I'd like to just mention that the university is thriving these days. We are ranked among the top 10 public universities in the United States, in fact, among the top 5 in some of the rankings. We are ranked number 1 in the United States for diversity, inclusiveness, and internationalization, and we have been that for the last 2 years, and we're very proud of that. For the 7th year in a row, UC Davis holds the number 1 spot in campus sustainability in the UI Green Metric World Rankings, and we've been in the top 10 in the world in that for the past 10 years, currently number 5 in the world, number 1 in the United States. Last year, we reached a very significant milestone for us in our research enterprise. We crossed the $1 billion mark. We received $1 billion in external research funds, and that's a claim that only less than 20 public universities in the United States can make. So we're very proud to have reached that threshold as well. So the future could not be brighter. And we are very fortunate to have an impressive team working to further our mission and global engagement. Our superstars and our big shots have already been introduced by Liliana. One, however, was left out, and this is my wife, Lachelle, is also She is the big shot in our home, and it's important that I say that for later, as all the men in the audience understand why. We're joined by several associate deans, alumni, supporters, distinguished faculty members as well, and you'll have a chance to meet and hear from them during the course of our discussions. This delegation is also special because it includes representatives from our colleagues in the state government in California, as you heard, and these people are our friends and our partners and supporters, and they also believe in the power of our partnerships here in Mexico. At UC Davis, we are partnering with business, government, and the community for the benefit of the greater Sacramento region. Central to these efforts is what we call Aggie Square, a new development and innovation hub that we're building on our Sacramento campus. We're building a place where companies, researchers, students, and faculty and community advocates can work side by side. Where cutting-edge UC Davis research powers new innovative companies, and where UC Davis provides training for up-and-coming industries and for residents who live in the surrounding communities. Aggie Square shows how much we believe in the need to build bridges and fruitful collaborations that move academia, industry, and government forward in our region. We estimate that Aggie Square will generate more than $5 billion annually into the economic development in the Sacramento region and add 25,000 ongoing jobs as well to the region. It will attract new startups and industries to the region. It will help expand our university's entrepreneurial culture. UC Davis has, in fact, 1,500 patents on record, and last year alone we helped to launch 13 startups from our university, 132 invention disclosures, and we completed 50 licensing agreements. So innovation is part of what we do. It's in our DNA. Aggie Square will be a collaborative effort between UC Davis, the City of Sacramento, and our development partner, Wexford Science and Technology. And this will demonstrate the best in public-private partnerships and how much we can accomplish when we work together and combine our collective expertise and our resources. Another quick example of our business partnerships at UC Davis is our Avenues program, and this is more on the education side of what we do. It's necessary, we think, to help our students build their careers and launch them into those successful careers. Avenue E with Chevron focuses on engineering and computer science. Avenue B for biological sciences is partnered with Genentech as our sponsor. And last year we launched Avenue M, which will create a robust pre-med or medical pathway for rural college students to help them boost the number of primary care physicians in the underserved areas of the state. So as we work together to strengthen these relations with industry in Mexico, I hope our students and our faculty will value the opportunities to work with your companies on projects, internships, innovation for the future that will be mutually beneficial to both Mexico and to California. So once again, I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you today to talk about how we grow and strengthen our longstanding partnerships and between our two states and between UC Davis and Mexico in particular. Look forward to many more opportunities to collaborate in the future, and and learning more about how we can work together. Thank you for your time and attention.